On tonight's show, we're going to show you the Beast Wars movie that you never knew existed and taste this Beast Monster Energy drink, which I suspect isn't going to be good. For those of you who don't know, there is an upcoming Rise of the Beasts Transformers movie, which is the perfect nostalgic movie for people in my age group, aka old people. But what you might not know is, even though there was a Beast Wars animated show from that Canadian animation company, a lot of people didn't know that there was actually an anime, which we covered in a previous episode, way back in episode 14. However, there is also a Beast Wars movie that came out that did actually include Optimus Primal from the original Beast Wars show.
Technically an OVA.
But before we get started with any of that, let's check out this Monster Energy Beast alcoholic drink. I gotta be honest, I'm not excited. It has 0 sugar, so that's not a good start. And I suspect they're really trying to lean into that old Four Loko crowd, but I also don't believe that there's any caffeine either. So it's Monster Energy, but without the energy and without the sugar. And with alcohol, I'm really not sure how that's going to work, so let's give it a shot.
NANI?!
Oh. Okay. Yeah, it tastes like Monster. It just basically tastes like somebody poured vodka in Monster. Kids, don't pour vodka in Monster because that's terrible. But also, this isn't that good either. This is probably a pass for most people unless you really like the no sugar part of it. But I had to try it. It said the Beast on it. We're doing a Beast Wars episode. Come on. All right, let's give it one more shot. Back to the 1998 Beast Wars movie. The 45-minute OVA is called Beast Wars 2 Leo Convoy's Close Call. Now, that is a translation that has some room to move in it, Close Call, or there's some other things that are similar to Close Call in translation. I'll put a link below where I found it, and hopefully you guys can see it. Now, what I think is really cool about this is that, number one, without ruining too much, it does feature Optimus Primal in it. And none of the other episodes do. I don't want to get too far into it, but none of the other Beast Wars, the second characters, cross over. They're in a completely parallel story. They exist in the same world, but they're in a parallel story entirely. So they don't touch each other at all, which is great because you can like them both. If you watch it, though, you'll actually notice some of the characters and figures that got released in the United States that some people are like, well, why is this figure here? It was never in the show. It was in Japan. So that's fun to see, like, oh yeah, okay, that's cool. That character was in that series. And so then it has a little bit more meaning for people. But what I like most about this is just a taste of what that Japanese Beast Wars anime is about. So if you're not super into the 90s animation, and it is 90s AF animation, then it gives you a taste of what that is without necessarily having to watch the whole series. If you like what you see, the whole rest of the series is pretty similar to that OVA. Basic plot of the story, I don't want to give it all away, but a spaceship crash lands onto the planet, and despite the lessons that the Alien movies have taught us, they immediately go to investigate what's going on in the spaceship and then start messing around with stuff. Now, what that does is basically they discover this trans-dimensional device. Now, I want you to really remember that when you watch the Beast Wars movie, because I have a feeling that there's going to be something with this trans-dimensional device. That's why I'm mentioning this anime now, because it seems like they may have borrowed a couple things from this OVA. And in fact, there is a trans-dimensional key, which looks suspiciously like a finger that has to be inserted into something else. So again, the trans-dimensional key, or the trans-warp key, I really think is going to be the MacGuffin for this movie, from what the trailers have led me to believe. So it's very funny that this OVA actually might share a lot with the upcoming movie. So it's worth watching just to see how much they borrowed from that. The villains try to bring back Megatron, but they fail. And they end up bringing back this character called Zarek, which isn't Black Zarek, who is like a giant scorpion. This character called Zarek and he looks suspiciously like a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Zord, which then Galvatron gets into and then powers it, and it turns into an aircraft carrier, and I don't want to ruin everything for you. But in order to defeat this character, they team up with Optimus Primal, who they bring back from that dimension, and in a move that was almost certainly copied by My Hero Academia 2 heroes, they do this like ultimate punch move together, the two Optimuses. Now in this story, of course, there is Leo Convoy, and I'm getting into a weird like Transformers rabbit hole, but in the Japanese lore, Optimus Prime isn't called Optimus Prime, and Optimus Primal isn't called Optimus Primal. In the Japanese continuities, Optimus Prime and all of the kind of Prime lookalikes, they're all called Convoy. And that has a whole story about why they do that. So there's Convoy, Leo Convoy, Beast Convoy. Definitely give it a watch. They're absolutely trying to cash in on that Lion King money. They've got not one but two talking lion robots. So they're definitely in on the animated lions to make sure they get a little money from that Disney washover. All in all, it's a fun, action-packed little episode. It's got a lot of battles, it's got a lot of transformation sequences, you'll see some combiner things. Again, you'll see some characters in this that you might not have known that there was an actual show for. Shout out to Proto Man from the Transformers Slag podcast for jarring my memory on this old OVA, and check out his channel. He's always got such cool stuff, but it's been great talking anime and Transformers with you guys. I can't wait to see the movie and look forward to the next review, which I believe is going to be Konosuba, An Explosion on This Wonderful World. I'm finishing that up right now. I believe that's going to be the next one. And you're also going to see me at the Phoenix Fan Fusion. I'm going to be hosting the Chainsaw Man Anime Rave on that Friday, June 2nd. So please join me there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's wild. It's an all-ages show. Just buy a pass for Friday or VIP or all event, and you can make it in. No cost. Just come in and party. It's going to be a lot of fun. Other than that, it's been awesome seeing you guys. Awesome talking anime, and kanpai.